We are under the bright lights tonight as MLB Network welcomes you to this presentation of Major League Baseball. Coming up, we've got a good matchup in store between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. Who will get the better of this compelling matchup? We'll find out next on MLB Network. Jacob deGrom gets the starting nod for the Mets. What's your take on him, Dan?
This will be interesting. This guy won the NL Cy Young Award last year. He's a solid pitcher, Matt. And one of the things he does, he throws the ball into the strike zone, and he's not afraid of contact. Solid pitcher.
Gene Segura standing in, and we are set for baseball here this evening.
Tonight for Philadelphia, the shortstop, Gene Segura.
First pitch of the at-bat. In there, and it's 0-1.
First pitch, 7 o'clock.
And boy, big problems here to start this at-bat. It's 0-2 now.
Real ugly 0-1 swing there. As a pitcher, you've got to be hunting for the strikeout, knowing you have this guy way off balance.
Breaking ball swung on in the dirt. And he makes the throw to first. Segura is retired, and there's one away. Settling in now, Bryce Harper, as he'll get his first opportunity in this one. Now here it comes. deGrom, a native Floridian. He was a 9th-round pick back in the 2010 first-year player draft.
What an absolute steal. I mean, this guy has gotten a lot of people some big raises in the organization. To be drafted as low as he was and turned himself into one of the biggest superstars in our sport. I am very impressed with what this guy's been able to accomplish.
Not close with the off-speed pitch taken for a ball. Game time temperature, a comfortable 76 degrees. One out, nobody on. And this will be fouled away. And a fastball swung on and missed as he just reared back there. 2 away.
That swing tells me he was really trying to get a pitch out front and rip it down the line, but that wasn't a great pitch to do it on. It's really not the best 2-strike approach either.
Here's Andrew McCutcheon now. As he'll wait out a breaking pitch here that finds the zone for strike 1. He'll attempt to put the ball in play for a change here with the first 2 guys going down on strikes to start the inning. Into the windup. Here comes the 0-1.
I get it. He wants to see this guy's repertoire, but now he's behind in the count. Puts himself in a tough spot to hit.
Got him swinging, and that will end the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Philadelphia. Now the Mets will step up for their first shot in a scoreless ball game. Zack Wheeler is ready to go as he's on the mound for the Phils. Dan, any thoughts?
Zack Wheeler's a quality pitcher. 3-pitch mix guy. Fastball 93 to 96. Good hard slider and a straight changeup. If he brings all 3 of them with him to the ballpark, it's going to be a long night for the hitters.
Now at the plate, Ahmed Rosario. He'll lead things off here in the bottom half of the first. The pitch.
Rosario.
First pitch fastball swung on and missed 0-1. Now the pitch.
Hey, they tried to tie him up on that last pitch, so I like that they went away with this one. The execution didn't work, but I like the idea behind it.
From the windup, the 1-1 pitch. This is line to left. And this one is gone. A home run. A solo home run for Ahmed Rosario. And the Mets are on the board first, 1-0.
Yeah, I can remember when leadoff hitters were these little speedy guys who would try to leg out little numbers or draw walks. Well, that time has passed, and guys like this, with pop at the plate, can sometimes go deep as well as anybody in the lineup.
Jeff McNeil will be the next to take a turn. 97 that time as this is fouled away. Into the windup. Here comes the 0-1. Yanked high and deep down the line in right. And it's a foul ball. Into the windup. Here comes the 0-2 pitch.
Pretty good pitch right there. Fastball in off the plate. One of the things you want to do as a pitcher, try to stand those hitters up.
Count still at 1-2. And this is hit hard to the right side. Foul. Now a swing, and he gets him to pop it up, but this will land untouched. To 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
After multiple pitches were fouled off, it gets a little disappointing as a pitcher. So you think, say, I'm going to throw one way off the plate and see if he'll chase it. Didn't happen.
Into the windup. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. To right field and absolutely hammered. Forget about making a play on that ball. It's way out of here. Back-to-back home runs. A solo shot here to straightaway right field as the Mets are out in front now, 2-0. Certainly a tape measure shot there as we take a look at it with our show track technology. 111 miles an hour was the exit velocity, so it comes as no surprise that it carried as far as it did. Up next, the power bat of Pete Alonso as the first pitch to him is taken low and away for ball 1. Hits this one hard the other way. And he'll flip it to the pitcher covering for the out.
Batting fourth, the right fielder, Michael Conforto.
So the bases are empty with one man gone. And up next, the left-handed hitting Michael Conforto. He's ready. Here's the first offering. And that misses for ball one. Time to take a look at the umpires in this one. Behind the plate is Mike Fillmore.
Hey, D-Roll, Mike Fillmore, one of the most consistent umpires throughout the league. Both pitchers and position players love this guy.
Yeah, I think one of the best in the business. How I judge a good teammate is every day he opens that door. Is he consistent? Can I count on him? Mike Fillmore is the exact same way behind the dish.
Now the 2-0. Too tight with that one. 3-0.
I'd be shocked if this wasn't a 4-pitch walk right here. He doesn't want to mess around and leave something over the heart of the plate and get beat in this situation.
3-1 to him now. Still only one out in the inning. High and deep to right center. He leaps, but he can't get it. It's down for extra bases. And he'll reach second now with one away.
When he started this game, giving up 3 extra base hits in the opening frame was not what he had in mind. He could still settle down and turn things around on the mound, but the way it's going right now, this has the makings of a start he's going to want to forget.
J.D. Davis the next at bat. As he'll take a look at a high strike that time, it's 0-1. Wheeler has become known as a guy that's tough to take deep. So many starting pitchers find themselves snake bitten by the gopher ball, but he really limits that. Line drive, and that's a base hit into center field. And he is safe at the plate, and the lead is now 3-0.
Hey, this pitcher better make an adjustment. That's a lot of loud contact. That's 4 bullets in the first inning to open up this game.
Next up for New York, Robinson Cano. First shot for him here with a runner at first now and one away. He's set, and the pitch. This is on the ground over to first. Segura for one. On to first as they get the double play to get him out of the inning. So 2 home runs in the inning lead to 3 runs on the scoreboard. On now to the top half of inning number 2. It's the Mets 3 and the Phillies nothing. Leading off the inning, Reis Hoskins, as they'll look to get something going here and even this game up.
Hey, we're still in the early stages in this one. They're only down by a couple of runs, but it's really key for this leadoff guy to try to get on and get a big inning started.
First pitch of the at-bat.
Oh, that pitch is out.
Love the early lead, but this game is far from over. Got to stay on top of what you're trying to do out there and execute pitches.
The 1-0 home. Finds the zone, strike one.
Look at the radar gun on that slider. Off-speed pitch, 91 miles an hour. That's just pure filth.
The 1-1. And he fouls this one off. Now a swing and a miss as he picks up another one. Make it 4 strikeouts already, and there's your first out.
Boy, he's really on a roll on the hill right now. As we roll through it again, remember, he struck out the side in the last inning, and now he picks up right where he left off by striking off the leadoff man here. Let's see if he can keep this going for a little bit.
Here's Didi Gregorius. In previous duels with deGrom, he's 3 for 15. Here comes the first pitch.
Hey.
A 1 pitch on its way. Missed low and inside with it. 1-1. Bases are empty. 1 man out. A ball and 2 strikes to Didi Gregorius.
Great job of doubling up with a fastball inside. A lot of times you'll see a pitcher go in there, but they won't go back in there a second time. This guy's not afraid to pitch inside.
1-2 is an off-speed pitch. No dice. It's 2-2. Boy, and they cannot touch him right now. 5 straight strikeouts on the ledger, and there are 2 away.
I think he had his mind made up. He was swinging the bat and trying to protect before the ball even left the pitcher's hand. That pitch wasn't even close. He would have needed a flagpole to hit that one.
In now, JT Realmuto. As he'll watch a slider that runs out of the strike zone away for ball 1. First 2 men in the inning have both gone down via the punch out, so we'll see if he can fare any better. Now a changeup hit on the ground to shortstop. Rosario brings it in, and the throw just does beat him at the bag, so the side is retired. Nothing across here this half. On now to the bottom of the second. It's the Mets 3 and the Phillies nothing. And that'll bring up Wilson Ramos. He's set to lead off the home half of the second.
One of the keys to securing a win, they want to keep the pressure on and try to build that lead as much as they can moving into the later innings.
First pitch coming. Here it is. A fastball here as he'll take a look at ball 1. 1-0. And this is sent on the ground out to Segura at short. And quickly there's one down to lead off the frame.
Batting it, the center fielder, Brandon Nimmo.
So here's Brandon Nimmo. First pitch of the at-bat on its way. They set the target in, and this finds the inside corner for strike 1. Well above the letters with the fastball that time. Nimmo, a rare Wyoming native. He was a first-round pick back in 2011.
Yeah, he has turned himself into a really nice ball player. I wouldn't put him on the superstar level, but you know what? They didn't miss with this pick either. You go into high rounds and you carve out a career the way this guy has, nice pick.
Now the 2-1 pitch. Fouled away. Here now the 2-2 is looked at, and the count moves full. 1 out, nobody on. And a fastball misses there. Ball 4.
Batting ninth, the pitcher, Jacob.
So 1 gone in the inning here with a runner at first. And that'll bring up the converted shortstop from his days at Stetson University, Jacob deGrom. He's set. Here it comes.
Ball in.
One 0 count. Here it is. And he lays off a fastball here that looked pretty good, but it's 2-0.
And this guy can hit a little bit too, so you just can't lay one in there 2-0.
From the stretch. Nimmo, base runner at first with 1 out. grounded to the right. Gregorius showing off the range. The second for one on to first, and that's 2 innings and 2 double plays they've hit into so far as the inning is over. 4 to 6 to 3. They roll it up to get out of the jam. More baseball on MLB Network right after this. And in steps Scott Kingery. He's the number 7 hitter, but he's leading off the third after the first 6 guys in the lineup have been retired in order.
Yeah, it's been a great start to the guy on the mound. It'll be interesting to see if they can find a way to get to this guy before he really settles in.
Now the pitch. And he popped him up. Back into foul territory behind first, and no one will track it down. Down the left field line and deep, and that's going to land foul. And a swing and a miss as he picks up yet another strikeout. 6 of them already, and there's 1 gone in the inning.
It's always nice to keep a guy that has good wheels off base, and that's just what they did right there. Big strikeout, keep that guy off the base path.
At the plate, Adam Hazley. As he'll take a tough pitch on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Waved at and missed, and he's behind 0-2.
This is part of what makes him one of the best pitchers in the game. He pounds strikes, and his stuff is really tough to make contact with. And when you fall behind 0-2, good luck.
And he struck him out as well. So the bottom of the order providing little resistance here, and there are 2 away.
Boy, this guy has really good stuff so far in this one. How about 7 Ks, and we're just in the middle innings of this one. If he continues this up, this could be a real solid performance.
Into the box, Zack Wheeler. And he'll promptly send it in the air out to center field. Nimmo is there, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. Phillies down in order. They trail it here 3-0. Next for the Mets, Ahmed Rosario. He'll look to duplicate his first at-bat when he homered to open the inning.
Yeah, Matt, that last one wasn't exactly a tape measure shot, but listen, a home run is a home run. I know a lot of pitchers, they call that a wall scraper in his last AB, but listen, it counts as a home run nonetheless.
1-1 to the Mets leadoff hitter. Now a swing and a fly ball, but this will land untouched. Pulled high in the air out to left field. Catch is made out there by Mccutcheon, and that's the first out.
The batter, number 6.
So here's Jeff McNeil.
The last at-bat, Matty B, we heard this guy's a good fastball hitter. He got a fastball and didn't miss it. We'll see if they pitch him a little bit differently this time and mix in some off-speed pitches.
0-1 the count. Fouled off. Here comes Wheeler's 0-2. Lifted down the line in left. And this will wind up a foul ball. Bases are empty, 1 man out. Ground ball right side. Hoskins gathers it in, and he'll flip it to the pitcher covering for the out.
Now back, first baseman, Pete Alonso.
Coming to the plate now, Pete Alonso. 0 for 1 for him here in this one. Ready with the first pitch. Here it comes. Grounded straight into the shift on the left side. Throw in the dirt, but a good scoop at first saves an error as this side is retired. Down in order go the Mets, but they lead it 3-0. And that'll bring up Gene Segura back to the top of the lineup as they're still looking for their first base runner in this one.
No doubt about that, Matt. They've yet to figure this guy out on the mound. He's looked great so far.
He has, but we'll see if this second trip through the order changes anything.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments these hitters are able to make in the middle innings of this game.
Here's the pitch.
0-1.
Now the 0-2 pitch. Tried to get him to go after the slider, but it's 1-2. Liner toward right center. That gets down, and the Phillies' first hit of the game is going to be for extra bases. And the Phillies are able to get things started with a leadoff double.
Man, I don't think he could have bisected those fielders any better if he tried. Throw that one into the alley for a gapper that'll bring him easily into second base.
Here's Bryce Harper now, as he'll look at a slider that runs in too far for ball 1. The 1-0 home misses for the second ball.
Boy, this is one of those tricky spots for a pitcher, right? You have an open base, but you have a guy on deck that could do a lot of damage. Not a good spot to be in if you're a pitcher right now.
The 2-0 on the way. Is laid off, but in there for strike 1.
Nope.
He's fallen behind now, 3-1.
Team's been struggling on offense. Let your D work for you right here. Pound the zone.
Bonnie bailed him out with a swing. 3-2 now.
Everything this guy throws is hard. That changeup he throws is in the high 80s to go along with that good heater.
Here comes the payoff pitch. And he struck him out. Good pitch there as he registers his 8th punch out of the ball game. So after getting the strikeout on the fastball, not a bad time to check out our pitch speed comparison for our two starters. And boy, you can see it there. A couple of power arms out there as both of these guys are working in the high 90s. Digging in now for Philadelphia, Andrew Mccutcheon. He was a strikeout victim in his first try.
Yeah, and he didn't put up much of a fight either, Matty. Gotta find a way. Can't go down 3 pitches. I don't care if you're staring at him or swinging at him. You have to find a way to make this pitcher work a little bit harder.
Strike 1 to start the at-bat. Runner at second here with 1 man out. 1-1 to Andrew Mccutcheon. Oh, they have him looking awfully confused up there right now. It's 1-2.
Usually you see chases outside the zone on off-speed stuff like sliders, breaking balls, and changeups. But to chase a fastball that far outside the zone tells me this hitter's not seeing it well at all.
Struck him out, and he becomes the 9th strikeout victim thus far.
Now, after back-to-back strikeouts, he's got a real good chance of making that leadoff double pretty much meaningless. He's made some good pitches, and these hitters have really failed driving him in or at least getting him over.
And that'll bring up the Sacramento product, Reis Hoskins. No balls and 1 strike. No runs, just 1 hit, and no errors on the ledger for the Phillies to this point. And it's fouled away. Tried to work it back to that low inside corner, but it misses. 1-2.
As a hitter, you got to be staunch in your game plan. You know he has a nasty changeup, and you got to fight to make sure it's in the zone. That's a great take right there.
Even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And he fouls this one off. Runner in scoring position at second with 2 down. Fastball didn't miss by much, and it's a full count now, 3-2.
For the guy on the mound, this is one of those innings where nothing comes easy. He's thrown a bunch of pitches, and this AB hasn't been any different. Definitely laboring at the moment.
And that misses, ball 4, so it's first and second now with 2 out.
This is only their second base runner of the game after that earlier hit. Tough to score when you don't have anyone on base, so we'll see if they can get something going here.
Now batting, Didi Gregorius, looking to put the ball in play here. He went down on strikes in his first at-bat.
Yeah, and kind of shocked he got blown away with a fastball. You could tell he was late on that one, and we'll see if he tries to cheat to something this AB.
The 1-0 is in there for strike 1. 2 down, runners at first and second. In the dirt here. Good work there to prevent any advance. It's 1-2. From the belt, kicks and deals. Fouled away. Swung on, but fouled off to the left. Now another 1-2. And that's going to be high, 2-2 now.
Tough to take a pitch like that right there, especially in a 1-2 count. You almost get in that auto swing mode. Great job to work the count back to even.
Lifted the other way down the left field line. And he can't track it down. A base hit. The runner from second crosses the plate.
Boy, what a battle there, D-Rose. Several pitch at bat right there. He threw everything but the kitchen sink, and he was still able to get an RBI base hit.
And Dan, I can't tell you, the longer the ABs go, usually, I'll tell you, you get in that swing mode where if he throws the rosin bag, you're pulling the trigger on it. Wait for him to settle in his zone and not come outside of it and end up getting a knock.
Stepping in now, JT Realmuto, as he looks at a fastball that's in there for strike 1. 2 men on, 2 away here in the 4th. Tried to get him to go after the slider, but it's 1-1. On the ground to third. He's got it. Throw on to second for the force, and the side is retired. Phillies will have to be content with just the 1. To the bottom of inning number 4 we go. The Mets lead this one 3-1. With Mark DeRosa, Dan Plesac, Matt Vasgersian as Michael Conforto digs into the left side of the batter's box to start things out. First pitch on its way. Good fastball down around the knees there, taken for a strike. A swinging strike, and now it's 0-2.
That front door slider is a devastating pitch. By the time you realize it's in the zone, it's too late, and you can't even put a good swing on it.
Fastball called, strike 3, and there's the first out of the inning.
Now batting.
Stepping into the box, J.D. Davis. He singled his last time up. First pitch of the at-bat.
Expect the guy on the mound to keep attacking the zone. He wants a quick inning, so he won't be nibbling.
Into the windup. Here comes the 0-1. Hit in the air down the right field line. And foul. 3-1 is our score here in inning number 4. Here's a little chopper to the right side. Scooped up. And very quickly there, they're 2 gone to start the inning.
Now batting, second baseman, Robinson.
Now to the plate, Robinson Cano. Wheeler into his motion. Here's the first pitch. And a high strike there, 0-1.
Hey, you think back to the early innings right there. You thought this guy would have been hitting his showers. A credit to him. He's been able to regroup, find his mechanics, and find a way to stay in this game.
And that misses downstairs for a ball, 1-1. And now a fastball, but he's able to hold off on it, and it's 2-1 now. 3 runs, 4 hits, and no errors on the Mets line score so far. Can't find the zone there, and it's 3-1.
This is a good at-bat so far here with 2 away. If you're going to go down 1, 2, 3, at least make the guy work for it. He's doing that, and he's even gotten himself into a good hitter's count now.
Hit hard to the right side. Now the 3-2 pitch. And this is taken low for ball 4, and they'll have themselves a 2-out base runner here after all.
The catcher, number 40, Wilson.
So a runner at first with 2 away, and next is the catcher, Wilson Ramos. From the stretch.
That's a ball.
Fastball well outside.
Now this is the kind of count this guy feeds on at the plate. You can bet he's geared to hit the fastball right here.
Ready with the 2-0 pitch. Fouled off. Two out with the man at first. And he can't catch the corner here, so he's behind 3-1.
Great game plan so far by this offense. They're not chasing any of those breaking balls out of the zone.
And the 3-1. Full count now, 3-2.
3-2, 2 out, runner on first. Lots of possible outcomes on this pitch.
Hoping to send him packing. Pitch on its way. Frozen on strike 3 for the final out of the inning. Mets strand 1, and it's still 3-1. Welcome back to Flushing, Queens. Before we get back to baseball, let's check in with Heidi.
Matt, I talked with Philadelphia's manager during the break about the Phillies' offensive production to this point. And he told me he's pretty unhappy with their discipline at the plate in this one. A lot of their outs have come from weak contact and strikeouts as a result of chasing pitches outside the strike zone. He said it's going to be extremely important for them going forward to be more selective with their swings and force the opposition to throw more strikes.
Okay, thank you, Heidi. All ready to go in the top of the 5th. Digging in now, Scott Kingery. He was a strikeout victim in his first try.
Things not looking very good so far in this one, but we're still in the middle innings. They're down by a couple of runs, and this would be the right place and the right time to get something going. The last thing they want to do is to try to come from behind and win this one in the 8th or 9th inning.
And he misses again, 2-0.
You can see this guy's more focused at the plate right now. In that first AB, he went down on strikes.
3-0 now.
Ball 3 to a leadoff hitter that can run. Not the greatest way to start this right here. I think right now you really have to start pouring some pitches into that strike zone.
3-1.
You maybe get 2 pitches a game where all the guesswork goes out the window. This is certainly that situation.
Definitely a fastball swing there, but a good time for the changeup. It's full, 3-2.
Hey, excellent job to get yourself back in this count after throwing 3 consecutive balls. You got a chance to get an out right here.
And he struck him out. The 10th victim set down on strikes thus far.
That's 10 strikeouts for him now, and I'll tell you, he could rack up quite a few more before he's done. Still a lot of game left in this one.
At the plate now, Adam Hazley. And it's fouled away. Three to 1 our score as we play inning number 5. Awfully close with the slider there, but it's 1-1.
Boy, that's one of the toughest pitches to lay off. A hard breaking ball at the back foot. Tough take on a terrific pitch.
Popped him up. McNeil in foul ground, but this will land untouched.
Not surprised he's laid on a heater right there. Just saw an off-speed pitch. Wanted to stay back a little bit too long.
Hit hard on the ground to first. He's right there, and he'll take it to the bag himself for the out.
Now batting, the pitcher, Zack Wheeler.
Next up will be the Phillies pitcher, Zack Wheeler. He's 0 for 1 thus far. Here's the first pitch to him. Got him reaching a bit too far after that one. It's strike 1.
Although he doesn't use that pitch too much, if he's able to steal some strikes early in the count, could be something they have to think about.
Count now a ball and a strike. 1-1. Is looked at for ball number 2. Bases are empty here with 2 men out. And a slider's in for a strike. It's 2-2. The 2-2 is swung on and missed. Strike 3. 3 up, 3 down for Philadelphia. Score holds. It's 3-1. And here's the former first-round draft choice, Brandon Nimmo, as we move past the halfway point in this one and begin the bottom of the 5th. Now the pitch. A ball and no strikes. Line drive to left. That gets down, and he's got himself a base hit. So with that, the Mets have a runner aboard to get the inning underway.
Hey, right here, anytime a leadoff hitter gets on in front of the pitcher, it puts the defense on notice. You're going to see the third baseman creeping in. You're going to see the first baseman crashing, trying to get that out at second base. But if not, make sure of one.
Standing in now, Jacob deGrom, as he'll take a look at a slider that can't make it back to the corner. It's ball one. Comes into this at bat 0 for 1 in the ball game. The 1-0. Swing and a miss on the fastball, and it's 1-2.
Little hesitation right there by the batter. It was great execution by the pitcher down and away, but that looked like a late swing. Could have been sitting on something else.
Nobody out, runner on first. And look out. Oh, that got him. And any time you hit the pitcher, you're asking for trouble.
Oh, boy, pro pitchers belong to a closed fraternity, so you don't usually see that very often. And any time it does happen, folks start hanging on the top steps of the dugout. These things usually don't go unpunished.
And that'll bring in the former top prospect, Ahmed Rosario. 1 for 2 in the ball game thus far. First pitch on its way.
Hey, two options if you're standing on the bump right now. Have to find a way to punch this guy's ticket or roll a double play.
Changes up on him, but that's in the dirt for a ball. Now some movement out in the Phillies bullpen as a lefty and a right-hander start to loosen. First and second here with nobody out. Lifted down the line in left, and that will end up a foul ball. Slapped hard the opposite way, and that's in there. Base hit. And they're content to play station to station here as the bases are loaded now with still nobody out.
Nice piece of hitting right there. Looked like the guy on second had to respect it and freeze a little bit.
They had to freeze there for a second to make sure that line drive gets down, but eventually does get to third base.
Here comes the Philly skipper on his way out toward the mound, and that is going to be all for Zack Wheeler. So he'll depart after working just 4+ innings, as this will not go down as a quality start, that's for sure. Nick Pivetta is summoned in the toughest situation a reliever can face. Bases loaded, nobody out. Into the box now, Jeff McNeil, as he will take a fastball in there at the knees for strike one. He's working on a 1 for 2 game so far. Line towards center field. That's in there. Base hit. 1 run scores. And the run is in to score from second. Make it 5-1.
Boy, this guy's having a great game here so far, D-Lo. Home run earlier in the night, and that base hit right there drives in his 3rd run batted in of this game.
Yeah, you drive to the park every day hoping your rhythm and timing is on point with that pitcher's windup, and that's exactly been the case today. He not only mixed in that big bomb, but now he's got 3 ribbies to boot.
Fastball taken, but that gets the zone for a strike. No hits to this point. And that's up in the zone a bit, but a called strike. 0-2.
Surprised the pitcher would even go to the top of the zone looking for a double play in this situation.
Runners are at first and third with none out. Back up the middle and in for a base hit. And that'll plate run number 6. It's now a 6-1 ball game.
Boy, deGrom, so close to getting the strikeout there. Needed to make one more pitch and didn't throw a good enough breaking ball there with 2 strikes.
Yeah, and that's what you pray for from an offensive standpoint. You try and pick up that red spinning dot that constitutes slider coming in there, and then you hope it doesn't fall off the table. He was able to get himself inside that baseball and get a ribby hit.
Here comes the first pitch.
Sometimes you can get away with a pitch in that location when you're running it up there that hard, but not consistently. You still have to work the edges of the zone most of the time.
And he misses with it. 1-1. From the belt, kicks and deals. Still a ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2. And he fouls this one off.
Don't be shocked if this pitcher tries to go a little bit further outside the zone. 3 foul balls in a row. He wants to get a swing and a miss on this next pitch.
The 1-2 is laid off for ball 2. Fouled away. Three runs already home here. And he lays off a pitch off the plate and high. 3-2.
Hey, this has been an epic at-bat right here. I don't blame the pitcher for a little nibbling right there. Maybe get a swing and a miss. He didn't bite on that one, so now we go full count.
And he misses with it. Ball 4, so that'll load the bases, and now he's really going to need to get a ground ball.
That's a big no-no. He obviously had to work carefully with 2 men on, but he did not want to walk him to load the bases. Now he's really got his work cut out for him. We'll see how he fares here.
At the plate, J.D. Davis. He hits here in a spot where he might be able to put this one out of reach.
Yeah, Matt, down 5, another run across here could very well put the nail in the coffin. Mentally, they might still feel like they've got a shot if they could get out of this jam, though.
First pitch coming. Here it is.
When you're hitting in a situation like this, you have to find a way to slow your heart rate down. The pitcher's the one with all the pressure. You're looking to keyhole something middle of the plate and drive some runs in.
The 1-0 delivery. Pulls this one in the air out to left. Mccutcheon is after it. And the play is made, but this should be good enough for an RBI as the runner from third tags up. And they'll extend their lead even further as the runs in to score from third. It's now 7-1.
Usually when you score a lot of runs in one inning, like this inning, you're doing a lot of things right. And how about this? A sac fly to drive in another run. They have to be happy with this.
So first and third with 1 away, and set to stand in the fine second baseman Robinson Cano. From the stretch.
With some traffic on the base paths, nice job by the pitcher to execute strike 1.
Cano waiting on the 0-1. Left side, but well foul. 4 runs here in this half inning. Thought about it, but he holds up on the knuckle curve 1 and 2. Still a ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 is a breaking ball that misses off the plate.
Tried to work in the backdoor breaking ball there for a strikeout, but he just couldn't quite get it to come back to the corner. That's a really tough pitch to hit if you can spot it.
And Cano out in front of it as he pulls this one foul into the seats down the right side. Now another 2-2. And a breaking ball in the dirt that time for a ball.
These are the kind of ABs, regardless of the outcome. You go back to the dugout as an offensive player, and your teammates are loving on you for making that pitcher work and battling it out.
Lifted into the air to shallow center. Center fielder giving chase. He makes the running play. 2 down. And he'll think better of trying to score as he holds it third with 2 away now.
The catcher, Wilson Ramos.
Standing in, Wilson Ramos. He's hitless in his 2 at-bats so far. From the stretch, here's the pitch.
0-1, no strike.
Runners at the corners, 2 men out. A ball and a strike.
Looked like he was going to wait him out, see if he was going to come over the heart of the plate. Well, newsflash, he is, and this hitter's going to adjust his batting gloves, and he better be ready in the box.
The 1-1 pitch. Grounded up the first baseline, but a foul ball. 1-2 the count now. 2-2 to the Mets catcher. And he strikes him out here, so he's able to stop the bleeding a bit as this side is retired. 9 men come to the plate, 4 score. We're through 5 here at the ballpark. Mets out in front, 7-1. So the batting order turns over now and set to go Gene Segura. He'll start things out in the 6th for a lineup that really hasn't found its groove in this one.
Yeah, only 2 hits so far, Matt, and not very many hard hit balls either. We'll see if they can start making some adjustments.
He's ready. Here's the first offering.
Counts 1-0. One ball, 1 strike.
From the windup, the 1-1 pitch. Fouled off.
You're lucky if you get 1 pitch a night right down the middle. Cannot be late on that fastball.
Just hung in there on that one.
Yeah, you could tell he was ready for another fastball, but the pitcher went to breaking ball, and the hitter just fouls that one off.
Here he comes again, 1-2.
This is a fun guy to watch when he's up there. Really battles. Doesn't take any pitches off. He's a grinder. Always seems to make it difficult on the opposing pitcher.
Popped him up. Cano is there for it. Looks it into his glove, and there's one gone.
The right fielder, number 3, Bryce Harper.
Digging in, Bryce Harper. He's hitless in the game, as is much of the rest of his team. First delivery to him on the way. That's in there, and he's deep in the hole now, 0-2.
Man, this guy's really pitched well so far, attacking the strike zone, and he's really kept these hitters off balance.
Got him. And that's the third time we've written a K next to his name in this one.
It's been a rough night at the yard for him. That's 3 times he's gone down on strikes in this one. So they've really figured out how to attack this guy.
So the next hitter to dig in will be Mccutcheon, as the first pitch to him is off the plate for a ball, 1-0. 0 for 2 from him so far in this one. The 1-0. And it's fouled away. Hit high and deep to right center. Right fielder giving chase. He gets there to make the catch, and that ends the inning. Phillies down in order. They're down 7-1. Bottom of the 6th inning on its way, but first, here's Heidi Watney.
Matt, during the break, I caught up with the Mets manager to discuss his thoughts on his club's offense so far, and flat out, he was very pleased with the quality of their at-bats. He said they've done a nice job of keeping their swings inside the strike zone and not chasing after pitches they can't do much with. The numbers say their chase rate in this game is under 25%, and with a bunch of runs on the board right now, that could be a big reason why.
Thank you, Heidi.
Leading up for the Mets.
Ready for another shot now. Brandon Nimmo. He'll lead things off as they look to perhaps build on an already sizable lead. And this will be fouled away. Into the windup. Here comes the 0-1. This pitch is popped up. Pivetta will take it himself for the first out of the inning.
Now batting, the pitcher, Jacob.
Next to hit will be the pitcher, Jacob deGrom. Here comes the first pitch. And a ball, 1-0.
Ball 1, no strike.
Ball 2.
When you're down 6 on the mound, you got to at least throw strikes here.
1 out, nobody on. Down low, and the plot thickens here. 3-0.
Well, he knows it, but this is the kind of guy you just have to go right after. He's not the biggest threat with the bat, so it's time to challenge him right here.
Here it is on 3-0. And this misses as well. Ball 4. And he's walked the opposing pitcher on 4 pitches.
Right about now, the manager's questioning his decision to bring this guy in. If you can't trust a reliever to throw strikes, you can't trust him at all. We'll see if he comes to get him sooner than later.
Now back to the top of the Mets order, digging in, Amed Rosario. He homered earlier and is 2 for 3 to this point. Becomes set. Here's the 0-0 pitch. And a called strike down in the zone, 0-1. Runners on first with 1 down. And he lays off for ball 1.
I'll tell you, it's a helpless feeling for a manager or a pitching coach when your pitchers are having a really hard time throwing strikes. What are you supposed to do other than keep trying new guys until someone starts attacking the zone?
Now the 1-1 pitch.
2 balls, 1 strike.
And this one's in the dirt, but it won't skip away far enough for the runner to advance. Count remains full. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. And he finally wins the battle as this is swung on and missed for the 2nd out. Stepping up now, Jeff McNeil. In his last appearance, he singled home a pair of runs. First pitch coming, here it is. Swing and a line drive. That gets down and the inning continues. So now they'll have 2 men in scoring position following the 2-out double.
The good news for pitchers in this park is that it doesn't give up many home runs. A lot of room in the outfield. Sometimes that's the bad news as well, though, because there's a lot of space for hits to get down and to go for extra bases just like that.
So here's Pete Alonso, as he will take strike 1 on the fastball here. No balls and a strike. He's got a hit in 3 at-bats to this point. Good breaking ball there, laid off for the 2nd strike.
Well, you can see he's coming right at this guy, just pounding the ball in the strike zone. He certainly has the advantage now. This guy hasn't even swung the bat yet.
Not a bad pitch there with 2 strikes, but it misses 1 and 2.
Classic strikeout pitch right there on 0-2. It's the one we know he loves going to, but great recognition to lay off in that spot.
Now a fastball, but that's easy to lay off, and it's back to even at 2 and 2. In the dirt and blocked behind the plate. The runners will hold tight, but it's a full count now, 3 and 2. And he fouls this one off. Looking to wiggle out of this. Here it is. Hard hit ball to short. On to first, and the Mets are going to come up empty here as that ends the inning. 2 left for the Mets. They're on top 7-1. So here's the cleanup hitter, Reis Hoskins, and he'll get us started in what's officially the back third of this one.
It doesn't look very promising so far in this one as we move into the later innings. Down by a bundle, it's time to get some base runners and hopefully a long ball to get them back into this one.
And he takes a cold strike, 0-1.
Hey, this guy's been throwing a gem so far. We're moving on later into this game, and he's right at about league average for first pitch strikes.
And a pitch in the dirt as he lays off. It's 1-1. Now a fastball as he has to lean out of the way there.
Most good pitchers know that they have to work inside and sometimes even come off the plate to keep hitters from getting comfortable up there. I think that was part of the intent with that last pitch.
Now the 2-1. ground ball sent back up the middle. Rosario's got it cleanly, and the throw to first is in time, so the leadoff man is gone here to start inning number 7.
Up next for Philadelphia, the second baseman, Didi Gregorius.
So now to the plate, Didi Gregorius. Singled home a run in his last time up. Ready to deliver. Here's the first pitch.
His slider's been impressive all night long. If he can continue spinning it like that, he's going to be just fine.
Into the windup. Here comes the 0-1. And he gets him to swing through that one. He's in control, 0-2.
Well, he got the leadoff guy in the inning on a ground out, and now he's 0-2 to start this at bat. He looks really sharp so far to start the 7th.
Looking to punch him out again. The pitch. Hit on the ground out to short. And the off-balance throw beats him at first, and that's a tough play.
Now batting, the catcher, J.T. Realmuto.
Ready now, J.T. Realmuto. No hits for him to this point, not unlike many of his fellow teammates. Here's the first pitch to him.
Shocked he didn't let it fly right there. Usually you're looking for a fastball elevated to get the party started.
Now a fastball here, not close, and it's 1-1 now. It's 1-2. Next pitch will be number 100 for him now through 6 2/3. And he's got another one. 13 strikeouts now, and the inning is over. 3 up, 3 down for Philadelphia. They're down 7-1. So now it'll be the 4-hole hitter, Michael Conforto. He'll be the man to lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th. Ready with the first pitch. Here it comes. Fastball just misses. That's ball 1.
1-0.
2-0 now.
He may be down 2-0 after those first 2 pitches in this AB, but those are pitches he can feel pretty good about. They did miss by a whole lot, so it's not like he's all over the place.
2-1 after the foul ball there. Now a swing, and the barrel of the bat breaks in 2 that time. And the off-balance throw gets him. Nice play for the out.
And that is what you're going to get when you've got a flamethrower coming out of the bullpen. And when you're late on a fastball and you make contact below the label, all of a sudden you're holding some new firewood.
Digging in once again, J.D. Davis. A hit in 2 at-bats for him at this point in the ballgame. First offering on its way. And a high strike to begin the at-bat. It's 0-1. And he watches a called strike at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes.
Sort of surprising to see a 5-hole hitter take 2 in a row for strikes to start an at-bat. Now he's way behind the count, so we'll see if he can battle back.
Heading out towards shallow right. And a great diving effort there, but it'll just tip off his glove, and it's a base hit.
Hey, they weren't going to keep this guy down for long. That's the ebbs and flows of the baseball season. Bottom line is this guy has bat-to-ball skills. You knew he was going to get hot eventually.
comes the second baseman, Robinson Cano. In the dirt here. And, almost had him, but he's able to make it back to first safely. Runner at first here, one man out. And he fires in a strike this time to make it 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. Count is 1-2 now. Has a look, now the pitch. Now Cano swings and misses on a good 2-strike pitch there as he's retired for route number 2.
That's a pretty unique pitch sequence, guys. Usually pitching is all about mixing pitches and location, but he threw that all out the window to get that strikeout. He offered the same pitch 3 times in a row, so I guess he sort of used that reverse psychology to outthink his opponent.
Here's the catcher, Wilson Ramos. Line towards center field. In there, a base hit.
The batter, the center fielder, Brandon.
Sir Anthony Dominguez enters now in a mop-up role as he'll try to keep the deficit right where it is.
Now pitching for Philadelphia, number 58, Sir Anthony Dominguez.
To the plate now, Brandon Nimmo, as he will look at a first pitch fastball for ball 1. A hit in 2 tries for him so far. He's ready. Here's the 1-0. Two men are on with 2 men out. Fouled away. Nimmo with an even count of 2-2 now. Set and the 2-2 pitch.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Now on 3-2 as a pitcher, you've got to go with the pitch that you feel most comfortable throwing with.
Trying to hang a 0. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. Payoff pitch one more time. And look out. That's in very tight, and it's ball 4.
Now batting, the pitcher, deGrom.
So here's the Mets pitcher, Jacob deGrom. He's looking to deliver here with the bases loaded and 2 out in the inning. Ready with the first pitch. Here it comes. And he throws the fastball by him here. 0-1.
That was a pretty good fastball after he walked the hitter previous. There was a little angry on that heater.
Oh, 1 count. Here's the pitch. Strike 2. Now some action in the Phillies bullpen as a right-hander begins to crank it up out there. And he struck him out. So a masterful job of being thrown into the fire and getting the big strikeout to end the inning. Mets leave them loaded. They're on top 7-1. Digging in, Scott Kingery. We're in the 8th now, and nothing's changed out there on the mound.
Well,
I've been very impressed with how this starter's going about his business, Matt. He's looked really sharp, and it's hard to know if it's had any effect, but getting that early lead from his offense could have really helped settle him in.
Here's the first pitch to him.
Nope.
And he'll lay off a fastball here in a good spot, but ruled the ball 1-0.
Well, he's thrown a lot of pitches in this one, but it's not like he's walking a bunch of guys. Only one free pass to this point, but they're still making him work really hard.
Clearly off with his timing on that one, a swinging strike.
Even though we're late into this ball game, this guy's velo is still top-notch. This guy's a horse.
And here's a slider that runs inside that time, and that'll keep him from diving out over the plate.
Man, this guy has retired a whole slew right now. I think what he needs to do is just stay focused and keep attacking the game plan like he has up to this point, because everything he's done has worked.
A good movement bearing in. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I love the fact that this batter continues to be aggressive, but after striking out twice already, maybe he's got to take a step back, see the ball a little bit deeper, and be willing to work deep into the count.
Got him swinging on the fastball there. Scott Kingery goes down to become the first out in the 8th inning. Into the box, Adam Hazley. 0 for 2 for him to this point. First delivery to him on the way. And he'll try to crowd him there to start the at-bat. It's 1-0. Hit in the air down the right field line. And foul. Fastball called strike. 1-2.
That's how you open up the outside part of the plate. Pound 2 balls in, and then get right back outside. Nice pitch.
Bases are empty, 1 man out. Got him. And that's number 15 for the ball game.
2 up, 2 down on strikes in this inning. He looks really sharp out there, guys.
The pitcher, Anthony Dominguez.
Neil Walker will get the call to pinch hit here, as we'll see what he can do with 2 out and the base is empty.
Neil Walker.
And the 34-year-old veteran looks at a called strike. It's 0-1. Yanked high and deep down the line in right. And it's a foul ball.
Looked like he was cheating a heater right there. A little bit too far out in front. Got to find a way to keep his hands back.
Hit on the ground down the first baseline. But this will be a foul ball, and it's still 0-2. Oh, he went for the knockout pitch that time, but a good eye. 1-2. Tried to strike out the side. Here it is. Pulled toward right center field. And a dive, but it rattles in and out of the glove.
And they keep the inning alive with a base hit, but you can see that's only the 3rd hit he's given up the entire game, so he's still in total control out there.
Now the New York manager's up off the bench on his way to the mound, and he's looking to the bullpen here, so it would appear that's all for his starter tonight. So he receives a nice ovation from this home crowd, departing after surrendering just 1 earned run. Brad Brock enters the ball game out of the pen, looking for the final out here in the top of inning number 8. At the plate, Gene Segura, as he tries to go out and get the slider, but it's not there. It's strike 1. He's working on a 1-for-3 thus far. Here's the 0-1. There's a fastball pretty close that time, but ruled a ball, 1-1. There's a shin-high slider laid off for a ball. Two balls and a strike. Here it is. Hit hard on the ground towards second. On to second for the force out, and the side is retired. Phillies strand 1. They're down 7-1. Deolis Guerra comes on to pitch now, hoping for better results than the other arms that they've run out there in this one. Bottom of inning number 8 set to go. Into the box now, Ahmed Rosario. He'll look to bounce back after striking out his last time up.
Sometimes you just got to tip your cap to the guy on the mound. He's getting paid to try and get you out as well. Anytime it gets up there north of 7, 8 pitch ABs, sometimes it just comes down to pure execution. Let's see if he makes the adjustment right here.
Now batting, number 6.
Ready once again, Jeff McNeil. And he's got a shot at history here, but he'll need a triple to complete the cycle. Ready to deliver. Here's the first pitch. The 0-1 on its way. One out, nobody on. And this one's up around the eyes, 2-1. Hit down. Oh, it's off the third base bag, but that finds its way through for a base hit. And they won't get an out from this as he's able to reach on a play that you just don't see very often.
Up next to the bat.
So some real problems out there that time as it'll wind up in E7. So now to the plate, Pete Alonso. The fastball here as he'll take a look at ball 1, 1-0. He comes into this appearance in the midst of a 1-for-4 day. Here's the 1-0. There's a cold strike as he nips the corner. It's a high fly ball headed for the left field corner. If it stays fair, it's gone. Definitely had the distance, but it winds up a foul ball. One out and a runner on second base. Fastball well outside. Swing and a miss, and they'll dodge a major bullet that time. 2 away. And next will be the Mets cleanup hitter, Michael Conforto. Runner in scoring position with two gone. First pitch of the at-bat on its way. In there, 0-1. And it's fouled away. Conforto behind, a ball and 2 strikes. Has a look, now the pitch. Right side, fair ball down the line. McNeil is on his way home. The relay, the tag, and they'll get him at second. And with that, the side is retired. Mets played a run on a couple of hits. We played 8 full. The Mets are out on top, 8-1. Next to dig in will be Bryce Harper, starting things for his side in the 9th as they face the improbable odds of trying to come back in this one.
Yeah, not a lot of hope for them at this point. These guys know these bats still count, at least for their own stats. You can't mill in your chances as a professional.
He's set, and the pitch. And we kick off the 9th inning with a swinging strike here, 0-1.
He knows full well he's sitting on a hat trick right here. All he's trying to do is avoid the golden sombrero.
Harper behind with an 0-2 count now.
Might have to change your game plan in the box right here. If he's going to pound away, might have to work the opposite field.
0-2 count. Here's the pitch. Now a fastball here that'll wisely lay off, and it's 1-2.
Those were 2 great executed pitches right there away from this batter. He can hurt you in a heartbeat. I don't think anything's going to leak out over the heart of the plate.
The 1-2. Popped up. McNeil has room in foul territory, but this will land untouched. The 1-2 misses, ball 2. Hit in the air down the right field line, and foul. Skied in the air to straightaway left. Davis has him played perfectly as he puts it away for out number 1. Final line there for the Mets starting pitcher. He was on point from the get-go this evening.
Hey, only allowed 3 hits in this one, kept the hitters off balance, and was a lot of fun to watch.
Into the box, Andrew Mccutcheon, as he takes a called strike at the knees. It's 0-1. He's hitless in 3 at-bats to this point. Pitch on the way.
Ball, action time.
Lifted into the air to shallow center. On the run is Nimmo, but he can't make the play as it finds the outfield grass.
Beggars can't be choosers right there. We love those long darts. Doesn't matter how they come. Jammed off the end of the bat, doesn't matter.
Next to bat will be Reis Hoskins. And there's a swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch to start him out. 0-1. No hits to this point. A swing and a ground ball to third. But this will be a foul ball as he's behind 0-2 now. Nothing in 2 count and the pitch.
I got to count 1 and 2. Nope. That's inside.
This right-handed pitcher, his bread and butter is that two-seamer, and he loves to throw it inside.
Runners on first with 1 down. Fastball swung on and missed as they set him down for the 2nd time here tonight. Got him with a good high fastball there. Danny, we see a lot of that pitch in strikeout situations these days. What makes it so effective?
I think, Matt, what makes it such a tough pitch is you're changing eye levels. That fastball up looks so enticing to hit that you see that ball as a hitter, you think you can drive it, but it's really hard to get on top of that good high hard fastball.
Ball 1. He's got a hit in 3 at-bats to this point. Ball and a strike. The 1-1 is a fastball that misses. Turned on that one and crushed it. Just pulled it a little foul. Now this crowd right around 35,000 strong on their feet. And he fouls this one off. A runner on first with 2 away. Philly down to their last strike. And he popped him up. And this hops over the wall out there for a ground rule double. And maybe a tough break as that'll freeze the runner at third with 2 gone.
There's one of the disadvantages right there to the ground rule double rule. With the runner on first, more than likely if the ball stays in the ballpark, he's going to easily be able to score. But once it bounces over the fence, it's only third base for that base runner.
In now, JT Realmuto. And on the first pitch, he grounds foul. He could really use a knock here. 0 for 3 in the game so far. Looking to wiggle out of this. Here it is. Plays off the slider, and it's 1-1. And this will be a called strike 2. In trouble now as they're down to their final strike tonight. Into the corner and slicing foul. Weak grounder down the first baseline. But this is a foul ball as the count holds steady at 1-2. has them down to their final strike. Here it comes. Philadelphia, good night.
Hey, one of the keys to having a good record in baseball is to win some games at home. So this was a big win to win at home in front of their home crowd.
8-1 is the final tonight. New York jumped out to an early lead in the first and never looked back. Jacob deGrom is the winning pitcher of record. Zack Wheeler permitted 6 earned runs to come across in the losing effort. So that's a wrap for us in this one. Mark DeRosa, Dan Plesac, Heidi Watney, Matt Vasgersian, we all thank you for watching Major League Baseball on MLB Network. See you next time.
The final line score for our ball game tonight. For the victorious New York Mets, 8 runs on 13 hits. No errors. They left 11 men on base. For Philadelphia, 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error. They left 5 men on base. The winning pitcher is Jacob deGrom. The loss goes to Zack Wheeler. Time of the ball game, 3 hours and 15 minutes. Thank you for joining us here this evening. We remind you to please drive home safely.